You've served as a pastor. There are unique challenges in the ministry. This is a Talbot chapel. A lot of our listeners will be in ministry or full-time ministry. What unique challenges do pastors and their families face in this arena of stewardship?
Well, there are a lot of challenges. One of them is historically that pastors used to be consistently underpaid. Now, some are still underpaid. Others are not. So what happened historically was when you were paid with chickens and eggs and corn and produce, then there was a sense of, okay, I'm doing my giving to the church through all the hours I work, and I'm receiving very little compensation. Now that same mentality is carried over where I've had pastors tell me, hey, I don't make enough money to give financially. I'm giving of my time. So my time is my tithe, my time is my giving, but I think that's very unhealthy. And so what it does is it puts the pastor in a position where he ends up rationalizing a failure to give, so he ends up calling upon his people to do something he is not doing. And that is an inconsistency, just as it is an inconsistency for a pastor to preach about sexual purity when he is looking at pornography. And so it brings in a built-in sense of hypocrisy, and then some pastors then will stray away from even speaking again on the purity issue because of the conviction that in their own personal lives they're not living lives of purity. Likewise, some pastors are apologetic about or stay away from giving, and they kind of take a moral high ground. People don't want to hear about giving anyway, but sometimes the dirty little secret is that pastors themselves are not givers, so they're calling upon people when they preach on giving to do something that they're personally not doing. And that hypocrisy, that inconsistency is a big challenge. Another challenge is simply the fact that pastors are often so self-conscious of the reputation of the church as being money grubbing, and all that church does is talk about money. They then avoid talking about money, and then they end up not preaching the whole counsel of God, which includes a lot about money, and furthermore, they end up doing what Paul says in Philippians 4. They end up neglecting what Paul says is, hey, you Philippians, you've given to me over and over again. And he says in verse 15, not that I am looking for a gift, but I am looking for what may be credited to your account. In other words, it is in the best interests of the people of God to be instructed about what God's word says about giving and the joy of giving and the privilege of giving. And if we withhold that truth from our people, we're withholding vital truth that would end up in their eternal reward and their personal joy.